Hey internet, it's Aquila. So I know a lot of you are looking at all this behind me right now and thinking that my room is really messy or that my bed isn't made. And while you're not wrong, I am doing it on purpose. The lighting in my last couple videos has been really bad, so I'm trying to cut down on some of that terrible lighting. Like I said before, I'm looking to get a new setup soon, but I have to work with what I have right now. And this is what I have right now. Now that that is taken care of, we can jump into today's video. This is the first video in a series I'm hoping to do on conspiracies, mysteries, interesting questions, unsolved cases, general philosophy things to think about. All that stuff really is interesting to me. I've always talked about that kind of stuff with my friends. I've always, looked at conspiracy theories. So it's something I definitely want to share on my part of the channel, and I want to make a series of it. If the video is doing well and are popular, I will definitely continue. So let me know if this is something you guys want to see more of. Or if you have a really cool series name, we can make a series out of it, make it really cool and have a cool intro and stuff like that. I mean, I'm definitely willing to work on stuff like that. Just let me know what you guys want. Also, let me know if there's conspiracies or mysteries you want me to look into. I'm definitely willing to put in the time to research anything you guys want to see. I have some things planned out. I'm going to do the Outlaw Pass. I'm going to do some cryptozoology, stuff like that. But if there's something specific you guys want to see that maybe I haven't heard about, I will definitely look into it and research it and put a video out. Being that this is the first video in this, hopefully, series, I thought I would do one of my personal favorites to start out with. It's something that I've talked a lot about with friends, and it's been debated in philosophy for a long time. Is any of this actually real? Now, a lot of people will just give you a definitive yes without actually thinking about it, so I'm here today to make you question your existence just a little bit. Before we can get into what's real and what's not real, we have to think about what real is. Reality is the state of having existence or substance. So we can say this chocolate syrup right here is definitely real. It has substance, it has existence, at least in this video, at least on YouTube, at least in the reality we live in right now. Now, every person has their own particular form of reality, which is called subjective reality. Basically, it's your own particular view of how things are in the world. So the way you see the world and the way I see the world can be a little bit or completely different. The best example I can think of this is terrorism. Now, hear me out, because that's a really bad example that's a good example. So terrorists in their own minds think that what they're doing is right. In their particular view of things, we're the terrorists because we don't believe in what they believe in, and we go against them and we oppose them. So their reality is different, their outlook is different, their views are completely different just because of the way they are and what their reality and their subjective perception of reality is. To keep from everyone doing whatever they want or they think is right according to their own reality, we've come up with a thing called consensus reality. Consensus reality is that we acknowledge things exist as a group and therefore they exist. So humans as a species acknowledge the Earth, or at least I hope you do in some fashion, because we're living on it. So we can say the Earth is real according to the reality that we have set as a consensus in the species. Consensus allows us to agree with the big picture, we are all alive and exist, but to argue about the details like what religion is the right one or if the dress is blue or gold, which I know is a dead meme, but work with me, it illustrates my point. The tricky part of consensus reality though is that we could all be wrong, but that would be going against the consensus. They would lock you up and call you crazy. A roadblock for consensus reality is, like I said, the people that go against it or the people that live way outside it, like terrorist groups or the mentally ill. Terrorist groups in the way I mentioned earlier, and that their perception of things is completely different, or the mentally ill even a step further. If you take a schizophrenic person, they can hear and see things that no one else can. That's their version of reality. What if their version of reality is the right one? Or the consensus among mentally ill people in a hospital sometimes, they have their own reality they come up with themselves that they all agree on. What if they're correct and we're actually the crazy people and our reality is wrong and theirs is right? Another argument for this not being actual reality is dream theory. Dreams are illusions our brains create when we're asleep that we can interact with and that we can actually have perceptions of and feel things in dreams. We can feel like we're falling out of the sky or we're touching a really cold surface, and we can get perceived sensation from that. Or we can actually have emotions rise out of dreams like happiness or serenity or fear from nightmares. Dreams sometimes have really funky details which allows you to know that you're dreaming, but other times they feel really, really real and you really can't tell until you wake up. So, because of this, it's impossible to actually tell if you were ever awake. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. You just said until you wake up, and I actually know when I wake up. I know when I sit up and I go to the bathroom in the morning and I brush my teeth. I know when my day starts. But what if that's not actually waking up? What if the movie Inception made a good point about dreams within a dream? So you could be in a coma in a hospital right now, dreaming this up, and you could wake up out of a dream and still be in a dream, and it would be impossible for you to tell whether it's actually ever reality or if it's just an elaborate dream with a whole bunch of layers. To suggest that this is an actual reality is simulated reality. Simulated reality would come from an advanced computer creating the reality around us and what we see and perceive. Now, before you go and say this is really far-fetched, think of the technology we already have today. We can already do this to an extent. We have video games that are making crazy advances in realism. Games like GTA have us play through a character's entire life. Going even further, Sims allows you to control the entire life and every aspect of a character, even multiple characters. You may be thinking, okay, well, to get to be this realistic in our world, it would take some really advanced technology that would probably be present in the simulation somewhere, right? And the answer is no, and I think that that lies within our own reality and simulations that we already have created now. We simulate things to be historically accurate to the time period. Take games like Assassin's Creed or, war games set in World War II. They drop you in the time period to be historically accurate, so you have the technology available at the time. Also, we would never be able to tell because, if details were funky, because this is the reality we live in, so we would just assume that things are right, because that's all we know. The last argument I'm going to present to you is actually a bunch of different arguments that I'm going to put in one category, and that's alternate realities. So I'm just going to break down a few of these for you. Some people out there believe that there are many Earths, and because of this, we cannot determine if we are actually the Alpha Prime, number one, first Earth, and the source of all our actions and details. We could just be a copycat of another Earth, which means that our reality technically is not our own, it would be someone else's. If we are the true Earth, which everyone here believes we are, then every other Earth would be a copycat of us, and they would be an alternate reality. Other people believe in the holographic principle, which states that we are a 3D projection of a 2D field that contains all possibilities. Now, I don't know all the specifics. Man, I have trouble with words sometimes. I don't know all the specifics of this one. I haven't looked into it in a long time. I used to know more of the details, so if that's something you want to hear more about, I could probably do a whole video on just that. I know it's really scientific, and it would take a long time to break down. So just the gist of it is that we're a 3D projection of a 2D field, so the 2D field would be actual reality, and we're just kind of like, a model for that, or, the movie that's playing off of it. Still, other people cite the Mandela Effect and the numerous cases of it that have been reported, which is when many people have similar false memories. Again, I'm not going to break this down too far. I don't remember a lot of it. I didn't do research for this video. I just wrote down what I remembered from researching in the past. So if you want to look more to the Mandela Effect, you're welcome to. But basically, it's just a lot of people have false memories that can't be explained. Consistent throughout all these alternate reality theories is that there are things in our universe, in our reality, how we live, that we cannot explain. So things like phantom pains could be explained by if you get your arm chopped off in this reality, in a different reality, maybe your arm is still there and something happened to your fingers. Or if you get a shooting pain for no reason, maybe you just got shot in this reality and that's why you have a sharp pain in your side suddenly. Or even impulse decision making, where you look back at a decision and you're like, why the heck did I do that? In a different reality, that could be completely thought out and you're just following the strings and acting out a decision from a different reality. It can all be explained by alternate realities, and there's a whole bunch more things that they cite and go way more in depth, and I would definitely look into them if that's something you guys want to see, but I was just trying to keep it brief. Hey guys, that's all I have for you today. Be sure to let me know what you think. Is this real? Is it an illusion? Is it a dream? Is it a theory I said? Or is it something completely different? And if it's something completely different, is that something you want me to look into? Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. Any and all support is amazing, guys. It's been great to watch how fast the channel is growing. Really, it's growing pretty fast. The overwhelming support that we've gotten so far has just been crazy. Thank you again for watching, and I will be sure to catch you in the next video. Peace.